Welcome to the Breakdown with Taylor Brown, the show where we talk about global journeys and inspiring stories. On today's show, we're talking with Jordan Brown. Jordan Brown just happens to be my younger sister. She is a graduate student here at NYU, and we're here in Manhattan, New York, at a diner called Midnight Express.
Yeah, Midnight Express, Upper East Side.
Upper East Side, okay. All right, so Jordan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for coming to visit me.
No, seriously, that's been pretty cool being able to come up here and just hang out with you. And we went to the Asia Wilson book signing.
Yeah.
Her coming out her book yesterday. What were your thoughts about that?
It was really cool. I was really excited when I first saw that, like, her first stop on her book tour was going to be in New York.
Right.
So I was like, especially since it was Union Square, I was like, we have to go. So, yeah. Been a fan of her for a little bit, so.
Yeah. No, it was cool to see her in person.
Yeah.
It was different instead of just on TV.
I felt a little tall standing next to her, too. Like, I looked up her height, and I was like, okay, she's 6'4",
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you felt like you weren't too far from her?
No, like, looking at the picture, but also, like, the lady took the picture, like, 0.5, so I feel like that's probably why it made me look taller, but.
Yeah.
I'm not too far. Not too far.
All right, so Jordan, I know you're a student here at NYU, studying journalism.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about your first semester.
Yeah. So, first semester was cool. Definitely, like, started out not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
It was like, coming in, new city, furthest I've been away from home, literally ever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I only knew like 2 people coming in, and that was because like through social media and stuff, my friends Andy and Miles, but like everybody else didn't know. So it was like, okay, coming in, like, I don't know, this is new environment, new territory. It's not the same thing as undergrad, but I just came into it for open mind, like still pretty excited to like explore the city and like be able to be in like kind of like the capital of journalism, New York City.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an adventure, to say the least. Last semester, I took like a writing reporting workshop class, photojournalism, and then like First Amendment law and ethics. And you would think like you wouldn't need like that law and ethics class, but it was like really important, very essential to like knowing just like the ins and outs of what you can do in journalism and what you can't do.
Right.
So honestly, those 3 classes, like I really enjoyed that class. My photojournalism class too. My teacher, he's like a freelancer for the New York Times. So like being able to be with those professionals. And my writing reporting class was with like my cohort. That was really cool, really awesome group. And yeah, we had a really great semester. Got to go to Iowa for the first time, had a reporting trip there.
Okay.
And we covered like just did like a lot of election stories ahead of the primary that was this past January. So yeah, that was really cool. Being able to like be in, again, a completely different environment, complete different group of people, talking to people that like, have all different type of views. Yeah. So yeah, I think the first semester definitely prepared me for this one.
Okay.
It's only week 3, but definitely think like the work has amped up a little bit, getting more prepared for like what the future will be like. And,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going to semester 2, what classes are you currently taking?
So I'm taking a profiles writing class with an author, Rachel Swarns. She is like legit. I'm super excited for her class. She wrote a book about Michelle Obama's family and like tracing her ancestry back, connecting the White House to slavery. Michelle Obama's, I think it was like her great grandmother was a slave. And like connecting the like obviously the family that owned her, finding people who are still alive that are related to Michelle Obama. So my teacher like really went into all of that. So so for that class we have to write a 3,000 word profile on somebody. So like a little, not the same amount of work that she did, but like kind of an introduction to that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that class. I'm taking a second writing reporting workshop class, but this one is like focused on video and production. And my third class is reporting the presidential campaign, but we're not exactly like reporting on it, more so following like campaign coverage and everything. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. So now let's talk about a little bit before you came to New York. You started classes, everything. You said you stayed local for a while, all right? So you went to Morgan State. You're part of NABJ. You were vice president. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Morgan State, what can I say? I love Morgan. I love Morgan. I wouldn't be here if I didn't go to Morgan. I can truthfully say that. And I wouldn't be here without NABJ for a lot of reasons. I joined NABJ my freshman year at Morgan. Obviously, like that got cut a little short, got weird because of COVID and everything. So I wasn't able to like fully be as active as I wanted to be. Like, but just that time, like being home, I just kind of dedicated like, I want to be able to do stuff that I saw like the upperclassmen at Morgan doing in the journalism school. So like I fully joined NABJ. I joined the student newspaper. And I would just like really dive into that. But NABJ specifically, I think really helped me like figure out the people that I wanted to connect myself around, because it's like so many professional Black journalists that like want to help you and like want to give you these resources that are going to help you succeed. And just like not even just the opportunities I've gotten at school, but like through the workshops that NABJ has hosted, like a HBCU training day that I went to. It was virtual, but like that program. And yeah, just very helpful to like student development.
Okay. You got to mention that you were journalist of the year.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Yeah, so I was talking about this like not too long ago because I was in class and we had to like introduce ourselves. And one of my classmates, I had like followed him on social media before class started, introduced myself. I'm like, hey, my name's Jordan, I went to work State.
Yeah.
And like I tried to wrap up, or just said real quick, and he was like, she left out. She's NABJ Student Journalist of the Year. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to like talk about it, but it's like, I don't know, just feel like that experience was crazy. Yeah. Like I remember us going to the gala and you're like, Jordan, that's the most I've seen you like wiped out.
Yeah.
Because it's like all the attention on me is like crazy. I've never had that much attention on me, like receiving that award.
Yeah.
But I'm really humbled by receiving that award too, because it's just like, I think it's a reflection of all the work that I put in those past, not even just like my senior year at Morgan, like the past 4 years that I did, especially. Like when I first found out that I was getting the award, I was on my way up to New York. With mom and dad. I had just cost them so much money, the graduation dinner, graduation as a whole, and all that stuff. And they're like, you're going to stop spending you're going to stop costing us money, right? I was like, I think we got to go to Birmingham. And I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. But I feel like it's still crazy to be like wrap my head around like, my work really got noticed on like that big of a scale where like they selected me to like honor this award. And I think it's also like part of legacy too, because it's like that award doesn't just reflect me, it reflects the organization, it reflects the founders of the organization. So yeah, just really humbled.
100%. I remember it was very exciting, and I definitely remember how tired you were.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's talk about, all right, so you came to New York.
Yeah.
Within like your first week in New York, you end up on the Barclays Center on the basketball court. How did that happen? How did you?
So that was so funny. So when I like locked in the date of when I was moving in, I was like, okay, when is the first Liberty game I can go to? I wouldn't call myself a Liberty fan. I'm a WNBA fan.
Yeah.
WNBA fan. Liberty's cool. Liberty's cool, but I was like, when I was like going through their schedule, I saw they were playing the Aces.
Okay.
Like the second Monday that I was going to be here. It's like, perfect. I got to go to the game. I look up the tickets. I think I only spent like $45.
Okay.
For like tickets in the 100 section.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So I was excited. I got there like a full hour and a half before the game started.
Right.
I ate some food. I got in the stadium and the arena, sorry. And then I get to my seat. I'm like the first person there in my section. And these two guys are walking up to me. And I thought they were like sitting in my section. So I like moved my legs and like, oh yeah, you can go. And he was like, hey, do you want to be in like this competition? And I'm like, sure. What am I, say yes to things. I've been trying to say yes to things.
Right.
So the guy's like, yeah, do you ever play basketball? It's like, long time ago.
Yeah.
Quit freshman year, it's Yeah. He was like, yeah, let's see, they have you like a shoot around competition and you have a chance to win like $1,000 in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. I have to go out there. So yeah, ended up doing like and actually, no, the funny thing is, so I won the shoot around. I won $1,000 and they actually let you convert it to cash too. So it wasn't Bitcoin. I got $1,000 cash. That was crazy. And then I got like a gift bag of stuff.
Wow.
And the funny thing was, like, before the game, when I got to the arena, I was like looking around. I was in the gift shop.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I definitely want to get a WNBA shirt and I want to get a jersey.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I'm getting a Liberty jersey, I'm getting Jonquel Jones.
Right.
I saw the price of the jersey and I said, maybe another day. You know, I just moved to New York. I gotta make smart decisions about my money. And then they give me what's it called, when I went like down to the floor, they're like getting me ready for the competition. They give me a Jonquel jersey. Wow. And I'm like, do I get to keep this? They're like, yeah, it's yours. Wow. That was perfect.
That's crazy.
Yeah, saved myself $135. But
wow. No, shout out to JJ.
Yeah.
She's actually getting inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's super cool. Super cool. I didn't realize, like, and I always say this, like, I wish I paid attention more when you were like in your prime and like playing basketball. Like, I did not pay attention at all. Like, literally legends and like
yeah. You played against each other. That's so funny.
from like high school.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Riverdale.
I don't remember the high school games. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I remember college.
Right.
I remember because that was like big.
Right.
High school was big. Like McNamara Riverdale rivalry, that was big. I just don't remember.
That's so funny.
No memory.
Oh man, since we're on the topic of basketball, the WNBA.
Yeah.
I know you're true supporter of the WNBA.
Right.
What are your top WNBA teams? Favorite? Do you have a favorite team? And yeah, let's start there.
Okay, so I am a bandwagon.
Okay.
I am gonna say the Aces is my favorite team. Yeah, I think the Aces are my number one favorite team. I just really like Asia Wilson. I think she's so dope. I think the team as a whole, like their chemistry, they're really cool. I just really like them. Like,
yeah,
Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, like all of them. I think they're so cool.
Yeah.
They just got Candace Parker back. I think, got a lot of good things going. They're gonna have a lot of targets on their back too this upcoming season.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Who are their targets, potential targets?
Yeah, Seattle Storm. They're like trying to build up a super team,
Right.
as some people may call it. Phoenix got a lot going on too. Natasha Cloud left the Mystics to go there. Kalia Copper.
Yeah.
Still got Sophie.
Yeah.
Brittany Griner, DT.
That's a good team.
Yeah. So they're pretty stacked. And then the Liberty's definitely gonna come back with a vengeance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was there for game 3 of the finals. Liberty won that game. So it was like, it was hype, like, they're coming back. But I always said Aces in 4.
Yeah.
I knew they were gonna lose. I knew they were gonna lose one game. And I knew it was gonna be the game that I went to.
Right.
I was like, Aces in 4. They'll be fine. So I think Liberty's gonna come back with something to prove for sure.
Okay.
But I'm most excited for this year's draft class.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so many players that could like change up the game. Also, potentially mess up the draft. Because so many of them have a COVID year still. So they could like decide, hey, I'm going to stay another year.
Right.
And then these teams have to scramble last minute. Like, oh yeah, we were going to lock Cameron Brink in, but she's going to stay another year. Now we got to figure out who's next in the chain of command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's your top 5 in the draft this year? I don't know. That's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Top 3.
Top 3. I hate to say Caitlin Clark. I hate to say it. And I'm not a Caitlin Clark hater.
Yeah.
I don't like, I don't know. Let me not say that.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I feel like Caitlin, like, she's an amazing talent. She's great. You have to give credit where it's due. And she's a generational talent.
Yeah.
So I think she's going number 1. I think Indiana, her and Aaliyah Boston will be really interesting to see. I think that would be really funny to see the fan bases get together too, South Carolina and Iowa.
Yeah.
So second, I'm gonna say Paige. Paige. I'm a big Paige fan too. I got to see her last month. Yeah, last month at Georgetown. UConn played Georgetown. Those UConn fans, they come out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they filled the whole arena. It was crazy.
Wow.
But I'm gonna say Paige. I can't remember who was the second pick. Is it the Spartans?
I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, I know Fever is the first pick. I honestly can't remember.
Yeah.
I know Seattle traded their fourth pick. I think, to the Mercury.
Yeah.
Got to fact check.
Yeah. I don't know.
But and then I think third is probably gonna go to Cameron Brate at Stanford. She's really good. She's really, like, you could see how her game has progressed since her freshman year. So
where's Angel Reese on this list?
Angel. Love Angel. I don't know. I want her to go top 5 though.
Yeah.
Because Angel's a beast. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like people that like just gave her so much hate this past year, like, she really doesn't deserve all the hate. Like, she's confident. She knows who she is. She knows the type of player that she is. She's dominant. She's gonna scare you. I'm scared of her. You got it. Like, I am scared of her. But no, she's like, I hope she goes top 5. I feel like if she goes beneath the 8th pick, that's a snub. That's disrespect. But I feel like that might even make her come in more with like more of a vengeance and dominate more. Right. So I don't know. I got Angel top 5.
Okay.
Top 8 at the lowest.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Also depends on the tournament. Because, like, you know, depending on how far your team can go, you could be projected right now to go second round. But if you make it to the Final Four or the championship, you might end up a first round pick.
Yeah, change your whole career. I mean, you saw that happen to Henny and who else? Luther.
Lexus Morris, yeah.
So yeah, we just never know. You gotta wait and see. But so gotta ask you this question. I ask every interview this question.
All right.
If you would describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why?
One word. I don't know. I'm so bad at those questions. Describe me in one word. That's something Mom would say about me.
That's so funny.
I feel like Mom would say bright.
Right.
I think she would say bright.
Okay.
But like not in like a smart way.
Yeah.
But not like she would say I'm not smart.
Yeah.
Like I think she would say bright because it's like, you know, I kind of like bring brightness to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of positivity.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
It's sarcasm. I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. Do you have a favorite podcast or book that you're currently reading, or, you know, it's like a book you read before, a podcast you've heard before? Any suggestions?
So, my favorite podcast right now is Haley Jones' podcast on the Players Tribune. She's interviewing professional and college women's basketball players, just like a lot of people that she's played with, which is like super cool because you could see like the relationships they have. Okay. And also I'm a big Haley fan, so you know. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. Yeah, she does a real podcast.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. All right, Jordan. So I know you're really humble. Well, I did want to ask. I have 2 more questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
First one I want to ask you is, how has, you know, obviously we're siblings, so I just know a little bit. But how has your family? You touched about it a little bit, like how mom and dad's helped you.
Yeah.
How's your family played a role or impact with your career? You know, where you are today.
Yeah. So, dog walker. Yeah. So I would definitely say my family's been very like impactful on my life. I actually just wrote about this. Like for my reporting class, we had to write like a 3rd person bio on ourselves. It was weird because it was like you have to write it like it's an obituary, but not really. Right. So I just kind of wrote mine like about my life, and I did it like, you know, youngest child, 4 kids, 3 siblings. Always been looking up to like my older siblings, right? My 2 older sisters and my brother. And a big like part of our lives have been basketball. So, you know, I wanted to play basketball like Taylor, want to play basketball like John, Shawnee, you know. but I wasn't that good at basketball. And I had to realize that basketball wasn't my thing. Like, that wasn't meant for me to do. Or at least, like, I wasn't going to excel in basketball as far as I wanted to, like you did, for example. So it's like, by the time I finished, like, freshman year of high school, I was thinking, like, I gotta figure out what I want to do that I want to do. Like, not that's, like, somebody else's dream, my sibling's dream, but, like, what do I want to do? So that's when, Dad, how Dad is.
Yeah.
Great guy, love him to death. But he was grilling me because I kind of blamed him for me quitting basketball. I was like, Dad, teenager, whatever. So he's like, well, you're not going to play basketball. You need to figure out something to do because we're not sending you to school for you to just go to school and go home and do nothing. So that's when I started taking pictures. And I was like, obviously using Dad's camera. So like, Dad, can I take the camera to school? I want to take pictures of the basketball game so I can still stay connected to basketball.
Right.
I want to take pictures of the basketball game. And then that turned into, like, me taking pictures of, like, my friends. Like, my friends actually take pictures of, like, their birthdays and stuff. Still using Dad's camera. Getting fights over that. Jordan, I can never use my camera. Dad, what do you want me to do? So, yeah, that's how I got into, like, photography, taking pictures. And then from there, I joined student newspaper at McNamara because I was like, oh, I already taken pictures of, like, the sports teams. I can have my pictures printed in the student newspaper. So cool. I remember you were on the student newspaper too. Yeah. So I was like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So I did that. But do that, like, you're not only taking pictures for a newspaper. You also have to write as well. And I think that's, like, where it started to click for me. Because, like, when I was a kid, like, I always liked writing. I liked reading. But I didn't know, like, what you could make out of enjoying to write. Like, Mom and Dad still have, like, all those write-a-books that we did in elementary school and stuff. So I feel like the writing was there. I just didn't know. But also I was, like, 15. Nobody has it figured out at 15.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to, like, make something of my life with writing and then being able to combine photography as well. And then kind of got journalism. So stuck to the student newspaper at McNamara. And then, like, just continue doing that. But my family, that's what we're talking about. My family, yeah. So I feel like Mom and Dad, they've always just been, like, so assuring that you can do whatever you want to do. Like, as long as you put your mind to it, we'll support you in any type of way. Like, yeah. So I think that's really important because a lot of people don't have that support from their parents, especially to just, like, my parents could have been like, oh, you're not going to make as much money in journalism as you would STEM. Major in something STEM related because that's where the money is at. They knew that was something I was passionate about, and they saw my interest in it, so they let me do it. There was no, like, question. And I feel like also just, like, the support of Mom and Dad too, like, me calling them literally every day, just, like, talk and joke, complain a lot. But, just having that support and always having, like, that outlet is really important.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
No, I like what you mentioned about McNamara.
Oh, okay.
So I like what you mentioned about the school newspaper at McNamara.
Yeah.
How that's kind of jumpstart, like, figuring out your passion and still staying connected with the sport. Well, let's talk about coming up this Saturday. McNamara is playing versus Seton. Definitely going to that game.
Yeah.
What do you think about? I honestly haven't been watching WCAC games.
Yeah, true.
But, you went to one.
Yeah, I did go to one. I went to McNamara St. John's, and that, like, it's been a huge rivalry for, like, probably even before you went to McNamara too. But I think that game, the McNamara and Seton game, like, that's gonna be a big game. They're definitely doing the the Lorraine dedication to the alumni, so I think that would be really cool to have those alumni come out, like, all those women, like, supporting women's basketball at a time like now is, like, really important. I think WCAC basketball, like, it's just, if you're not from here, like, you're not really gonna get.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's different. I will never forget the St. John's versus McNamara game, 2019, my senior year. At McNamara, that's when I realized, like, the game was shifting because we got out of school at 2:50 And by 3 o'clock, there were reporters at our school with cameras, people lined up trying to get to this game that didn't start until 6 o'clock. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is women's basketball. Like, this is the potential that the game has. And I don't know, I was a little disappointed when the game didn't have that same feel when I went the other week. But I feel like, like it was winter break, like kids weren't back in school yet. And it was a weekend. Like, that game was a weekday. I literally remember like it was yesterday. That was huge.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm about to find out this weekend. But last question I have for you, Jordan, if you have any advice you would like to give to younger students coming out of college or even in college or high school?
Yeah.
Is anybody younger than you? They're thinking about pursuing journalism or transitioning from, playing and then doing something else. What advice would you give them?
I would give the advice of just, that's a good question. I thought you were going to go somewhere different with that. Like, from trying to get into journalism, I think the biggest thing is to really brand yourself. I think like the best thing that you can do, like as a student right now, is just try to make a name for yourself. Like, whether that's on social media, whether that's like sticking to whatever outlet you have and just like putting out as much work as possible and like really dedicating yourself to your craft. Like, I think that's the best advice. But I was where I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to say like advice to people coming out of school and like trying to figure it out. Nobody has it figured out. That's the best advice I could give. I literally say this all the time. Nobody has it figured out. Literally, if you feel like you're out of place, you see people like getting jobs and stuff straight out of undergrad or like getting a job. Like, no, everybody's on a different path. Everybody's going to figure it out in their own time. You're not like delayed or behind because this person is ahead of you. They're not ahead of you. There's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's not even like it's their time, but it's their time and it will be your time eventually. But don't feel like you're behind or like you're not. Nobody has it figured out, really.
Yeah.
Nobody has it figured out.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Great answers to those questions, and pretty sure that was motivational, inspiring others. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. So, no, this is great. And thank you guys for watching this episode with Jordan. Stay tuned for the next one.